Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. I'm the question asker. My name is Raheem Aljamain out of Atlanta, Georgia. But we got two of my brothers here that are very important. We two of my brothers from the same mother, but we got the same father. This first is Badger. Good morning, Badger. How you doing this morning?
What are you coming to me for? I thought it was supposed to be age before ugly.
Oh Lord.
Good morning.
Tucson, the man done called you old. He done called you old, Tucson. Tucson, he done
Well,
threw,
you,
threw a
you heard me say it. You first, Badger.
Oh, uh-huh.
no, he threw it right back in. He threw it right back in your plate, brother. He threw it right back in your plate.
Only in mind, man. Only in mind.
Today is Friday, gentlemen. Today is Friday. Hopefully we got a couple of topics we're gonna talk about today. Um, Tucson, I'm gonna start off with you. I got two topics I want to go to. I'm gonna go to this one first. Tucson, what state do you live in?
I'm at peace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at peace, man. I finally got there.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that you say what state I'm that's what because uh I'm sure enough not in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
I live here, but that's not. I can't function like these people.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
I can't. I can't function like that. I've been in the South all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but all my life, Louisiana and Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
back and forth, all my life,
Mm-hmm.
most of my life anyway. But I'm good with it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
good with the way it's conducted because I done saw it all. I mean, not all of it, but I caught the tail end of segregation
Mm-hmm.
and point on the busing. I was about 4 or 5, so I was seeing it, but I didn't understand it or I didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, sisters that it wouldn't bother me because they had to bother them first.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Okay.
I'm the last of 12, so I had somebody looking out for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, and my dad wasn't he was the type of person he wasn't gonna get off the sidewalk for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of those that was doing the marching and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm at peace, man. I'm satisfied with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a calm, peaceful state of mind. I try not to let too much up, you know, arouse me,
Yeah. Yeah.
get me upset,
Mm-hmm.
all out of whack
Mm-hmm.
because of things that's going on. Now say that carefully, but this society is mean and nasty
Yes, sir.
and dangerous, really,
Very, very.
because you can't go nowhere without hearing, man, again,
Mm-hmm.
and our political arena is crazy. They just, you know, how can you be for the people and you're not even considering it because it's all about you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
regardless to what side you may be. It's sad that we have people that represents us that's on two sides of the table and they don't come together
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? That's their job. That's what they're supposed to be doing. They're
Mm-hmm.
leaders of the society, and they divide it. So here we are divided. But they
Mm-hmm.
ain't got. But Raheem, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
That don't bother me. People can fuss and fight and cut up and argue and disagree and all that. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Don't bother me not a bit. Because
Shoot.
I'm good with where I am. It took me a while to realize that it's not what goes on the outside. It what goes on the inside. So I'm good with where I am,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in a good state. I would say that's what's on my heart right here.
Good deal. Good deal. Excuse me. And everybody would answer this question totally different because everybody's in their own state, whatever state it is. And I'm glad that you understood my question because some people say, "Well, I'm in Georgia. I'm in blah." No, 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 no. We're not talking about that state. We're talking about what state. What state do you live in? So, Badger, I'm asking you that question. Badger, what state do you live in? What state are you in?
Sad.
Come on.
Comfortable with who I am, but sad all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Why so?
Because I'm seeing humans being
No,
hurt.
no, 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 no. We're not talking about around you. We're not talking about around you. What state are you in? Not what state are the people or the existence around you.
No, I'm
What
telling
state
you
are
that
you?
I'm I'm sad,
Uh huh.
and I've been sad for a long time
Hmm.
because looking at all the things that are happening.
Okay, but let me say this to you, Badger, and just for a little
Hmm.
clarity. I understand what you're saying, and you're absolutely right in what you're saying, but I'm not asking you for the state or what state or the people around you or what the state that you see around you. I'm asking you specifically strictly for Badger, not for what you see, but what state are you in? You,
I
not
just answered that.
but you're talking about your existence and you're talking about the people, what you see around you and stuff like that. We hadn't got there yet. Let's deal with strictly with Badger.
So you, mm,
Why don't you just tell me what state are you in, not from what you see about other people, because that has a bearing. I understand what you're saying. You absolutely. I'm not saying you're wrong. Yeah, actually, you're absolutely right. But my thing is, I want to concentrate more on what state is Badger in, not the state of him. You're sad. Your sadness comes from the fact that you see outside things and stuff around you that hurts and breaks your heart. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But my question is, what state are you in? Not because of what goes on around you. We strictly gonna go up to the apple tree and we're gonna pour apple badger down. We're not pouring the surrounding of badger. We're gonna pour badger down from that tree. So
I
what
guess
state
you
is
could
badger
say, even though I'm sad, this fighting spirit in me that never dies
in? Mm-hmm.
is essentially what's keeping me going.
Mm-hmm.
Because life can be hard.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very different perspective of things when it comes to this kind of topic because we can, I work hard to always stay calm, respectful, kind,
Mm-hmm.
gen, um, yet the sadness that's fueling my anger, I'm very glad I have therapy later today.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
um,
Wow.
I, it's hard for me to talk about. I don't quite get what you're saying because I look at things in a very different perspective. I
Mm-hmm.
look at life from a community perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Of anything that can affect me can affect others.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's who I am. That is me.
Yeah. And I,
I
I
don't.
and I certainly understand it. That's why I wanted to, jump in just a little deeper with you as far as with the question, because I know, man, you're a very passionate person and you care a lot about people and stuff that goes on around you. That's why I kept saying I wasn't trying to be mean to you or anything like that. And I pray that you don't think that I
Well,
was because I wasn't.
no,
But
I'm just. I
yeah.
hope I kind of did what you were asking
Hmm.
because that is a kind of, to be honest, I'm still learning how to be able to answer a question like that, because I don't, the way I am is if something's pointed out that I need to work on, I do it, and that's that. So I am always looking at how I'm affecting other human beings and how other human beings are affecting others. So I'm always in a community mindset. I don't know how to. That's just, I've been like that all my life.
Do you ever live in a state of peace, absolute peace? And do you know what that looks like?
I guess you could say that I'm yes and no. I know what it looks like. I know what it is. I know how to be in that peace.
But do you
But
ever
I'm
exist in
human.
it? Do you ever exist in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just, it's, I guess a better question is, what is your explanation of peace?
I can't, my definition of peace may be totally different from yours. They may not walk hand in hand. They may be totally opposites. And so, I can't give you that answer. I could give you the answer in regards to me and what mine is, if that's what you're asking me, but I can never tell you what yours is and what yours look like.
Okay. I guess for me, my peace is striving to be the best human I can be, the best father, the best husband, to be a good human. And that is my peace.
Okay. That's good. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm just happy to see another day. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Hey, you remember, I think it was about a week ago, you came on. excuse me. You came on and I said, man, you got that fire in you today. I guess that vigor or something like that. Remember I said that? Man, I heard this. I heard this morning, bro. I heard this morning. Yeah, I heard.
Man, I can't tell what the difference is, man.
Yes, sir. I heard. I listen to everything, man. But listen, my question, and I hope that you're doing well this morning, Rico. My question is this: talking about Rico, we talking about Rico, asking Rico strictly about Rico, and I'm asking you this question, brother: what state do you live in?
I'm in a constant state of awareness. Conscious awareness.
That's good.
Self-awareness, awareness of my environment, the atmosphere, humane awareness, what's going on in the world, and aware that this existence that we live in has been manipulated and affected to a point to where we are not living in the manner that we should. And so being aware of that, you know what I'm saying, walking around every day noticing, that people are sort of controlled and influenced, living under the influence and not realizing it, and being one that does realize just how us human consumers are under the influence of so many things that, are man-made vices, or not as important, or should not be such a priority to the well-being of man. When you notice that these people have these priorities, sometimes ourselves, it's like I said, I'm in a constant state of self-awareness because I catch myself contributing or participating in, or actually being a detriment to myself by doing some of these same things. Doing things that we think are good for us and they're really not good for us. Being under the influence of looking for pleasure, finding peace when we feel good. Sometimes we find peace in eating, or sometimes we find peace in just sitting back watching TV all day and not doing nothing, not realizing we're causing ourselves to become stagnant and obese, very unhealthy, not getting outside, getting in there this natural medicine that we should be getting in this world. So many things we contribute to out of the notion of fun and feeling good, pleasure. Sometimes you have to be very aware of the things that you're doing that really and truly, they may not be too good for you. So I'm always in a constant state of awareness, and if you ask me if I've ever seen peace, You know, how can I have peace when I know there are third world countries and third world countries shouldn't exist?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are things going on this planet that may not affect me directly, but as a human being, they are affecting other human beings. So
Yep.
it does affect me
Yep.
as
Yep.
a compassionate human being.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to be at peace when I know that there are people not having a fair opportunity to I'm gonna say experience this event, this life,
Mm-hmm.
and with a fair opportunity to accomplish or achieve everything they potentially could. They had the means to.
Rico, let me ask you.
I can't be at peace. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question, man, because it's powerful what you're saying right now, and I don't want people to miss what you're saying because this is something that we all need to concentrate on. But do you think there are some people that will say to you, yes, I have absolute peace. I found that peace. If you, to me, and this is just me talking, if you put that person before me, I'm gonna say, well, I've also found a very selfish person, because there are situations where there are people that's living so beneath what you say your peace is. And so because of the fact that you have your own personal peace and not concerned about everybody else or the rest of the world, then that's a very selfish person. So if you bring that person before me, I would say that, yeah, you may have your peace, but you're also a very selfish person. Would you agree with that?
Right. Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, you do have to find some type of reward or benefit for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I think you would be selfish when that reward or benefit is it causes a detriment to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you say, I don't care as long as I got mine.
Yep.
You know, if you want, I mean, if you are unintentionally doing it and somebody wakes you up and tell you, hey man, you know, every time you go buy this product, you go, you're actually contributing to this cause.
Mm-hmm.
They say, well, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, that's a little different. You know, if you're on a job at a workplace and you have some things going on that needs to be addressed, but it doesn't affect one of your coworkers. Well, I don't care what they do to you, as long as they don't do nothing to me and mess with my money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that can be a selfish situation, especially when the same thing can happen to you. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I could never find peace personally. You know, not when I'm dealing in a situation as a father, as a black man. First off, it's gonna be hard for me to find peace over here, knowing really and truly that this situation isn't cut out for me to succeed or have the same opportunity to accomplish this American dream they claim.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of it, to know that there are systems in place that has my son in a situation where I can't be the father that I need to be, the God-given right father that I need to be to a child that I created. There's a system in place that has handcuffed and restricted that. I can't never be in peace to know that a system or institution will come in between a father being what he is supposed to be for his children.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Absolutely. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me.
Okay, so now I see it, and I feel sick
Mm-hmm.
that I'm at peace.
Mm-hmm.
But see now, where I have a difference of opinion, as far as it being selfish or being peaceful, is I'm gonna do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I realize that sooner or later something's gonna be done about
Mm-hmm.
it. See, this society thinks they're in control of everything, but they're not. You ever heard the saying, every dog got his day? I'll just wait on that day.
Yeah.
That day been coming. And there are people that's sick of hearing that day is coming.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about that day for years. Man, every time I turn around, you talking about that day. And here I am in this sin-sick society that makes me sick. And then you got the nerve to say you're at peace. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tucson, what do you say to I know I've heard of many of my elders, grandparents age, that say that don't worry, baby. You're gonna find your peace when you make it to heaven. you're gonna find that peace. Just keep living, baby. You're gonna find that peace when you make it to heaven. And
Yeah,
you look
yeah.
around and you see go ahead.
I made it.
Mm-hmm.
I made it.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven on earth,
Mm-hmm.
on the inside. I keep saying that because that's just how I feel, Raheem. I mean, I can't afford. I got too much at stake.
Mm-hmm.
I got 5 children, 14 to and a half, I say, grandchildren. That it's possible that they're trying to figure out how I'm gonna act about all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to act accordingly, even in encouraging them and letting them know that you keep doing you. I tell my children, do you. Don't let outside influences influence you to think more or less of yourself. Just do the best you can at being you and make a change
Mm-hmm.
in your life. I can't, unfortunately, I wish I could. I wish I could save the world, but I'm not the savior of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I can help one at a time along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to do that if I can or if they let me. Because some people you cannot help because they don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you'll go broke, blind, crippled, and crazy trying to help folks that don't want to help themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I do the best. I mean, I think it's not a boast or a brag. I'm not trying to be nobody. I'm not trying to be nobody. I'm really not.
Mm-hmm.
I am who I am. If I can help somebody along the way, good. Thank God that he allowed me to help somebody, because that person that I'm helping or trying to help or whatever the case may be could be me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody that's being talked down to. Man, don't let that man talk to you like that.
Exactly.
I mean, he worked for somebody, I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's something that will not allow him to do that to you. Because you just as human as he is. But what I'm saying is, when that comes to, if I try to make a change one at a time, I think that helps me not be selfish.
Yeah. Wow. 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 And you say make that change, make a positive change. How do you weigh that?
There's results. You got to have results. Anybody can run their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But see, now if you see somebody, see, and it's just me right here. People run their mouth and they're good with you long as you got it going on. But when you strung out and you can't fight that demon, you need somebody to just say, man, you know what? Um, um, when you get out of rehab, or when you need to go to rehab, I'll be at the front door.
Mm-hmm.
You done run out there, man, and you strung out, and you under the tree, and you got a house. I'll sit out there with you.
Yeah.
I'm not running I'm not just talking right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know where I come from. I know what I could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
saying that I got it all together, because I need help right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, the worst of the people that we call the worst, that could be me. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that much nerve to look down at somebody.
Exactly.
But I can reach down and give them a helping hand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what King said, man. Only time you look down at a man when you're trying to help him up. Only time you look down on a man is when you're reaching your hand down there and you're trying to help that man up. Outside of that, you should never look down on anybody. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I'm sorry, you made me think about something.
Uh-huh.
At the end of King's life, when he knew his time was up, he said, "I've seen the promised land.
Yeah.
I might not get there when you get, I might not be there when you get there."
Mm-hmm.
So he had a glimpse of it because of the life that he lived.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Badger, talk to me. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
So I'm like Donald. I've had to force myself to find peace
Mm-hmm.
by listening to the elders and learning how they've done it. And it's not an ignoring of what's going on. It's learning to be in I'm going to use what's a common terminology, in control of ourselves, to keep myself from reacting, so I can think clearly, handle situations, not get in the way of great spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's that having to be calm among the in the storm. When everyone's panicking and you panic too, and nobody's there that's calm. That's a lot of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, the calm one is the one that can is like, hey, you know, things will work out. Let's gather up, line up, and head to this safe location.
Mm-hmm.
Now inside, it's feeling the craziness, the sadness, the anger, all the emotions, but it's keeping the mind. Um, I think peace of mind may be the wrong word for it sometimes, the wrong terminology for it. I want to use the terminology of working hard to keep a sound mind, to be able to weigh the situation, to weigh words, be the to help to the best of one's ability to help in those situations where it's needed. If like the situation I ran into with the appraisal dish, the our property stuff that I've recently been helping with. If I sat there and just let all of my anger out and didn't keep myself, of sound mind, of peace, I'd be on there cussing and all kinds of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
instead, I'm keeping myself peaceful and going, all right, here's the facts, here's the laws, this is how we can fight it legally, da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
And counteracting the ones that are stirring the pot, stirring up people's emotions, which can drive people to do a lot of crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of blew me away when you said that, people that are, say that they're at peace are selfish. Because I a lot of people I know that work hard to be at peace do a lot of work with people.
Mm-hmm.
And now behind closed doors, going to therapy, talking with elders, like me talking with Donald or Leonard, Willa, I talk to them when I'm like about to snap to regain my peace so I can help other people because I know what would happen if I snapped.
Okay. But let me, for clarity reasons, when I was saying that, I was talking about a person that has peace, say they have peace themselves. And I'm not gonna say it's a terrible thing. I won't say that. But my thing is to ignore the rest of the world. Like Rico was saying, there's people living in third world countries that don't have anything. And so to
So
ignore that part of it is what I meant. And not necessarily that they don't need a peace relation, say that they're peaceful. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that how can Michael Jackson said, I see the children in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs?
I'm gonna. I know you got to go to somebody else, but I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. I don't know if anyone watched the most recent Trump thing, but it's kind of ironic you said what you said because there are now studies, including Trump, and I've heard a couple other politicians. I was researching it this morning. That's saying that America can now be a lot of situations in America are like a third world country.
Mm. There are certain places here that where there's a extreme poverty, but America don't want the rest of the world to know that. There's some cities you can go to in every state. There's some cities you could go to, whereas there's a extreme level of poverty that
So
that could very well mirror a
I
third world
I
country.
only bring that up for one reason.
Uh-huh.
If King didn't work hard to stay sound of mind, to stay peaceful, would he have accomplished so much?
Did he let me ask you this question, off your question. Did he shed a blind eye to those situations that we're talking about right now? Because he spoke directly about the peace and people having opportunities and different things of that nature. He wanted to live in a place. I have a dream. That whole "I have a dream" speech was about killing these things, the very things that we're talking about right now.
So there's two different terminologies that you're looking at.
No,
Those that walk in a peaceful path and those that are the ones that ignore everybody else. Is that what
no.
you're talking about?
Actually, what I'm talking about is the ones that say that they have their peace, but still want to ignore that there's other people, there's other people in this existence that we live in called life that don't have half the opportunities that they have, situations that they have. We're talking about a third world country right here in the United States of America. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of situations in cities and states where there's places that look like a third world country.
I
Now,
only know two
how
people that do that.
are you gonna let me finish?
Sorry.
Okay, my thing is this right here. How could I have $1 billion, drive through, make a wrong turn one day, and I drive through a neighborhood where the houses are almost falling down. If the wrong wind come, the house gonna fall. People are hungry, certainly without. Now, I have this abundance of resources, money, if you will. How could I drive through and say that I'm a good person and not want to do something to help these people?
You're talking about the evil ones.
I didn't use that terminology, but if that's what you want, that's a label you want to put on them, that's fine.
I'll do it. I'm not afraid of them.
I'm not afraid of anything, brother. But I'm just saying I didn't put a title on it. Let me go to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, it's so easy to complicate things, man, when it don't have to be this complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are at peace with what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you're a billionaire, you own a company, and your employees are asking for wages, you breaking records every year as the world's richest man. You're flying to the edge of space and doing all these different things, and everybody bragging about how your profits multiply. But then you got big factories full of people that still saying, man, they overworking us and they ain't paying us enough. Think about Walmart, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that complicated. These people are at peace with the fact that they are making all this money and they have employees that still can't take care of their children off the wages that they pay them.
Yep.
They are at peace with saying, well, hey, I want to create robots so I can cut out some of this manpower. Well, really and truly, they're the one that got us in this industrial age and created this system of survival. This is a potential way you can survive. This is a way you can make money. We could pull the families out of the recession and out of poverty by making machinery and making weapons of war. Let's create an industry. Okay, now you know what? I think I want to make a little bit more money, and I'm in peace with this by creating robots to do it. And cutting people out of job. But wait a minute, what they gonna do about the cost of living? They better get in where they fit in, find something to do. Find something to make some money in this system we created. Well, we need to change the system. No, we don't. I'm fine with it. I'm at peace. That's why I vote conservative. It's easy to understand. The question is, sometimes people are at peace and they are completely selfish because they are at peace with the conditions that exist. Or maybe the conditions they created, the conditions that they succeed in. And they say, well, you know what? That is the game. That's how business goes. Well, maybe we need to change this business model. Because if the news media, Trump has just now mentioned that there are places in America that look like third world countries, where some of the people that say that they're woke aren't as woke as what they say they are. Some of the people that say that they're aware, I ain't listening to other people that they're speaking sometimes because they might not be talking about what they want to talk about. But we could hear examples all day long. But if really and truly you just open up your eyes and you talk about the homeless, they ain't there just because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
We speak about this increase in homelessness all the time. That's poverty. That's third world country-ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you see it in abundance all across the United States in cities that you never saw this type of homelessness. You see the drug addiction, the fentanyl addiction, the heroin addiction. And we also know where that came from. But guess what? Some people are at peace with going to war in Vietnam and Afghanistan and gaining control of their poppy and opium and creating epidemics and drug epidemics and bringing cocaine over here and processing it into crack and locking up people after they created it, locking them up and taking the fathers out the household and creating conditions where poverty can't help but exist.
Mm-hmm.
Because you create a system where these people can't do nothing but fall into it, and you continue to profit off of it. Yeah, let's lock them up. We don't want to get them no mental health care because they black. But now when it's a bunch of white people getting addicted to fentanyl and heroin, we want to make it a mental health thing. We want to give them some help. But the crack babies, they had to deal with their mamas being in prison. See, this ain't the first time they took people out the household. They took the daddies and mamas out the household during the crack epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
No pity, no remorse. And they was at peace with it, with the crime bill, with the sentencing more people for crack. They were at peace with this war on drugs. They created these conditions that no doubt was going to create more poverty, more turmoil, more mental illness, more despair, and more people for them to profit off of when they lock them up in this private prison industry. Oh, but money over everything. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So if we could just lock up people to make money off of for profit, it makes sense to just get the super predators off the street, but not care about what created them. Mm-hmm. Now Donald Trump say, we have studies showing that we are having third world countries. Man, you got people looking like third world countries over here in the United States for the last 400 years.
Yep.
And ain't been wanting them to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody might have to make a sacrifice. And a lot of people have a lot of peace in not making a sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Martin Luther King found peace in making sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King found peace in being away from his family and getting out there, getting bottles thrown at him. And he did it in a peaceful manner. He found peace in not being violent and responding, retaliating. He found peace in that. The next person might not have found peace in that. The next person might have found peace in just staying at home and not being involved with that because they ain't got to take no bottles to the head. Mm-hmm. I'm good where I'm at as long as they don't bother me. I'm good. So, everybody's definition of peace is easy, but at the same time, you would realize that they do find peace because whatever it is that they're doing on a consistent basis that they're interested in or that they like, that must be their peaceful space.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Asking the question, what state do you live in? What state do you live in? You personally, you right there. What state do you live in? Give us a call, 508-924-3521. Tucson, talk to me.
You know what, Rico, you're an eye opener. Because gotta watch myself at my peace to find out, to check myself to see if I'm just satisfied with what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when Rico was saying that, what makes people when they are good with where they are, satisfied with where they are, as long as it don't make them uncomfortable, good. So I'm gonna have to re-evaluate my peace.
Come on.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because that might be just good with me. Some people that peace are just shutting their mouth and let things don't let bygones be bygones. As long as they don't come knocking at my door.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They don't give me no problems. I don't care if they get off the sidewalk or not.
Look, long they don't come here affecting me and my
They
folk,
ain't,
me
they
and my
ain't
folk.
sticking the dog. They ain't sticking the dogs on me, cause
Mm-hmm.
I ain't out there. Shut that door, Sally.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna have a peaceful night while they killing other folks. You at peace because you grinning in their face.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yeah, boss. And I just try to stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Totally peaceful. So man, I tell you what, the state that we are all in, unfortunately, whether we are at our peace or somebody else's demise, is kind of like Badger was saying. Now I have to go there too. It's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
It'll put you in a disturbed state of mind because it'll make you ask the question, when, how long? I think even at the elders at one point even asked, how long?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we've been talking about Jesus coming back for quite a while now.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, and I'm not discredit. I'm not going to discredit that. Not me. I'm not going to discredit it
Mm-hmm.
because that's what that would make me at my own peace that I'm gonna have to reevaluate
Mm-hmm.
because I've accepted the fact. It's not a fairy tale to me. But then at the same time, how can I help somebody else along the way that don't see it the way that I see it?
Mm-hmm.
Don't even have to. But this is not a force, force fed thing. It's just you either accept it or not. That's just kind of the way it is. I don't know if that's even selfish,
Wow. Mm.
but I think that even saying that, that the God that we serve don't force himself on nobody, but he offers things to you. I hate to go there, but it's about that. Um, he has everything. We say he has everything to offer. But when you look at society, and some people are about to lose their mind
Mm-hmm.
because they're losing everything else, and their mind is the last thing they got left.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Let's talk about the state. What state are you in? Are you in a state of ignorance? Is that a word? Ignorance? I think it is. We just made it up. Put it in the dictionary. Put it in all them other dictionary words you got in there. You got them all them words. Add this one. Ignorance. That's a word. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I was sitting here thinking about the things. I was really happy to hear what Rico said, that there are those that have the peace of mind that are doing evil things. And I was sitting there thinking about the perception difference
Mm-hmm.
of how peace of mind can be a spectrum, but at the same time, how does society view that terminology? So I was self analyzing and looking at past experiences with different people and seeing the evil ones, um, that are perfectly happy hurting taking advantage of other humans. I've been around the ones that are the rose-colored glasses. They know things are messed up, but they don't want to deal with it because it's too stressful. So they're content with where they're at and what they know. They don't strive to do more. And then there are those that are very aware of what's going on. And speaking for me, constant prayer of help me keep my anger in. Help me keep my anger at bay so I don't, do the evil thoughts that are in my head to these human beings that are doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I've had to work to find a calm place. Sort of like the Happy Gilmore thing. If
Mm-hmm.
anyone's ever watched Happy Gilmore. Finding that happy place among the chaos to serve,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Learning when to allow the anger out and when not to. Learning to it's a constant struggle, being aware of the atrocities that are being done to to humans.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't believe me, and I don't care anymore. I've been like that since I was little. I've always wanted to see people not go through the things that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I saw, I remember some young friends that were, it's hard to share stories in this society. It's hard to be positive in this society. It's hard to do anything because people want to throw labels and be angry about something.
Mm-hmm.
Anger, it fuels most of society. People are always wanting to be angry about something, and then they go react and nothing gets done.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that work hard to stay calm, they learn the laws, they start nonprofits, they, even though they're angry, oh my goodness, are they angry? They're calm.
Mm-hmm.
So if being in a calm state is not the same as what y'all are talking about with peace of mind, then that's where my hang up is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if y'all consider a calm mind the same as a peaceful mind.
Mm. Okay. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Whether we consider a calm mind, a peaceful mind, and I think that they can intertwine with each other. I think that they really can coexist, if you will. We got somebody else that just came in. Willow.
Good morning, Raheem.
Good
Good morning, Morning Glow.
good morning, Willow. How you doing this morning?
Man, Raheem, you just don't know. I am doing awesome this morning.
Good
Come on,
deal.
Raheem.
We asking a question, and I'm just gonna throw it out there. I know you understand what I'm saying. You certainly know I'm not talking about a physical place, city or state or something like that. But Willow, what state do you live in? What state do you live in?
Mm. Raheem, every day, I choose to make the decision to live in a peaceful state
Mm-hmm.
in my life. A life that's fulfilled with giving, with helping, encouraging, a life with serving, trying to make sure that someone else's life is meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
encouraging them, lifting them up. That's the state of life that I try to commit to every day. I try to make that decision. I choose not to get in the place to show God that I appreciate, that I try to get in that place, letting him know that I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
him waking me up another day,
Come on.
giving me an opportunity to get something right. Oh,
Mhm.
wait, Raheem. That's the kind of state that
Mm-hmm.
I try to live in every day.
Wow.
Every day, Raheem.
Well, let me ask you a
That's
question.
what's on my heart.
Let me ask
Go
you this
ahead.
question because we was talking about this morning. We was talking about third world countries and how a person could have so much. Say here in the United States of America, and know that there's third world country where people don't have anything, and they still say that they in a state of peace, ignoring. I always go to the Michael Jackson song. How am I to see the children in the street with not enough to eat and pretend not to see their needs?
Mhm.
You know, are we in a good place that we could do that? And I also talked about some, I don't know how, Chicago is set up. I've been to Chicago 4 or 5 times, but I know that here in Atlanta, there are some places where, if you go down the street, you'll think that you're in a third world country because the poverty is so rampant there. Is there places like that in Chicago, and how is that dealt with?
Oh, for sure. For sure it is, Raheem. From time to time, my cousin and I, she lived like 3 doors down. We go out from time to time every month, probably about maybe 2, 3 times. We go out. There's a place under the Viaduct that's called Tent City,
Mm-hmm.
and they have several places like that. Many places like that, especially that even down in the downtown area where they force those people out from
Yeah.
being downtown and they push them up underneath the highway. So
Mm-hmm.
we also call that the tent city. And this guy, he dedicated his life to making nicer tents for them to live in.
Mm-hmm.
And they're forcing the city now to try to get porta potties in those areas so the people have somewhere to do those essential things that they need to do every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have it here in Chicago. But I just want to say that there are a lot of people that are committed to trying to change or help those people that are in those places or in that kind of environment, Raheem. I just got
Mm-hmm.
to put it out there. Because
Yeah.
when we go, and I say that because when we go to feed the community, and I like to say the community instead of saying the homeless, I see boxes of food, clothes, and other things, essential things that I see that other people have brought around these places.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those we got a lot of people here that are doing that, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I just can't understand sometimes how the government have these empty houses, like the Cook County Hospital. They changed into a shopping area. The old Cook County, I don't know if you knew where that was. Cook County Hospital,
Mm-hmm.
instead of changing it to a place of shelter for people that are living on the street. So, to me, it seems like the people themselves are doing more than the government is, doing for the people.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Ain't that sad?
So I just want to say that.
Ain't that sad though?
Yeah.
Ain't that sad?
Yeah, that's sad. And they got
Mm-hmm.
the income, they got the money, they got the resources. You know, they could make these empty buildings that nobody is living in, these uh, multi units, change it where there'll be more shelters, but not. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like that, Raheem.
Exactly. Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to we action right now. We're gonna switch over in a few minutes to go to another topic. We got a couple of topics actually I want to cover today. So we might get about 2 or 3 different topics. But right now, let me go to my sister Toya with a T. This is my sister from another mother, but we got the same father. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, good morning. How y'all doing,
Hey,
Morning Glow family?
hey, doing well, doing well. Toya, what state do you live in?
What? I have to live in the state of Georgia.
There you go. There you go. See? See?
What you mean? What state? I'm just answering your question. Now, there's a different kind of state you're talking about.
Absolutely.
What we mean? State of mind?
Yes. What
Like what?
state of existence? What state of existence do you live in?
Oh well, that's a tricky one. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I live in today's state of existence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's state is different, right? Just from what you were talking about, living over in Africa right now is different than living in America. So we
Mhm.
living in 2 different states of existence. My friend over in Kenya versus me right here in College Park or Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
right? Different aerodynamics. The trajectory of New York is different than down here.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, depending on when I'm living in New York or wherever you go, you have to move accordingly to the state of where you are, right? You got to know customs and mannerisms depending on where you go, what
Mhm.
time of the night. If you in the hood or if you in the suburbs. So whatever state of existence you in are at that time, you have to act accordingly. And for me, hey, I'm in the state of today. I'm like a chameleon. I can move any way you want to go.
Mhm.
I'm more than confident enough that I can navigate my way through this world, through any situation, been in any situation. I've been poor, been in the projects. Also had a couple of coins to where people thought I was rich. And
Mhm.
each one of those states of existence required um, different interactions. You
Mhm.
can't move in the same way. You know what I mean? And Howard like you could in Atlanta Tech.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
for me, I'm in the state of existence for today. I'm here to be able to do and serve whatever my God want me to do, wherever He want me to go, wherever He want me to lead me.
Mhm. Wow. Wow. Can a person be in a state of I guess ignorance? I'm using fancy words today, where they're actually ignoring situations because, again, I'm gonna say it again. Michael Jackson said, "I see the children in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to pretend to be blind, not to see their needs?" Could we be
Right.
in here in the United States of America? Like I said, we was talking about there was certain places in every city and every state that has something that appears to be or looks like a third world country because the people are so
Hmm.
living so below, so much below, and living
Hmm.
without. Can we be
Right.
can we as human beings, like you said, can we be in a place of ignorance where we're actually ignoring those people needs just to fulfill ourselves? Always selfish is a better way of putting it.
Absolutely. Especially when you're so distracted. We are very selfish. And again, it's because of the state of existence we're in America,
Mm-hmm.
right? We probably would be more mindful if this was Africa and all we see walking down the street was kids with flies and underdevelopment, right? But then that's just the way of life. That's the state of their existence. But us here in America, yeah, we're distracted. It's
Mm-hmm.
not our problem if it's not our problem. So that can be going on over there. Okay, yeah, we'll send $30 a month, but for the most part, they keep us so distracted over here, even with our own kids. We talking about Africa. We got hungry people right here
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that we're not talking about. Some of your kids is hungry right
Mm-hmm.
here. We don't have to
Mm-hmm.
go to Africa to see
Exactly.
disparity. We see it
Exactly.
right here. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, yeah, sometimes we have to be ignorant, right? Because I found out that trying to save the world is another distraction.
Mm-hmm.
So worrying about the millions of homeless people when you got your own family you're trying to provide for, that's a whole nother distraction.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where we get wrong at, right? Because the state of existence is all about self and about instead of about the body. And I think that's where God coming at, right? God is always teaching about the body. It's never just one individual. And
Mm-hmm.
even if it was one individual, that one individual was there to save multitudes of individuals. So
Mm-hmm.
together we can save the world. But by yourself, Raheem, can you imagine you taking care of your kids and your wife, and then you running around trying to save 1.7 million homeless kids, talking about you
Wow.
don't want to be, you don't want to feel privileged living in America?
Mm-hmm.
So what you're going to set out to do is try to conquer the problems of the world and use whatever money you have to solve the problems of 1.7 million starving African children.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
much,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to start where you are, and then collectively, we all can make change. But sometimes we have to be ignorant because it's too much to think about. It's too much to worry about. It's too much to try to conquer and achieve and make sure that it's right. And then you're still taking it into your hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
This world is this way because God allows it, right?
Wow.
And each individual human, we have a role to play. And some of us don't play our roles. Some of us don't um, listen to God when He speaks, so therefore we stay in bondage. So I
Mm-hmm.
think at the end of the day, when it comes to a state of existence, it's still boiled down to what you and God has come up with. Because living in other men's state of existence can
Mm-hmm.
potentially keep you in bondage and undeveloped. Just saying.
Wow. Rico, what's on your heart?
I have to disagree with part of that she said about trying to save 1.7 million being a distraction and you struggling trying to take care of your own family, because that's essentially what Martin Luther King Jr. tried to do. And he had to sacrifice. His children said they didn't see him as much as they'd like to. His wife didn't get the husband that she really deserved to have. But see, he had a higher calling and he went with it. He did what God told him to do. If God tell you to go and say these 1.7 million people and leave your children at home because you got a good wife, and you might not be able to go out here and chase this money and get this cost of living, because you probably could become a billionaire. You know all the right people. You can be selfish and look out for yourself and just say, well, I got mine. Them niggas need to get theirs.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't do that. He essentially tried to go out and save such and such million black people who were treated like homeless people, outcasts. You know what I'm saying? Come from a condition of oppression. And he tried to step in and do something. He gathered momentum. He didn't do it by himself, but he was the face of it.
Mm-hmm.
He was so much of the face that the man is revered almost like Jesus right now. Even the people that hated him sit back and make quotes just to keep deceiving us. That's to try to distract us. But, you know, I think I live in a state of awareness and concern. I live in a state of concern because it has been plenty of time my whole life when I was sleeping, I was getting ready to lay down and go to bed, and I had to have that distraction from the TV to go to sleep. And I mess around and see that baby with the flies on his belly. I can't go to sleep after seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the people that I saw and witnessed earlier that day. Maybe it was 30 degrees outside and they didn't have a jacket on. And they needed glasses because you could tell the glasses that they had on were scratched up and they were children, but they couldn't help it because they couldn't do no better than the parents was allowing them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you see them in the grocery store scrapping up money to buy food. You want to buy food, but you ain't really even got enough money yourself. Or sometimes you might sacrifice and buy some food. But it's hard to go home and sleep at night when you're like, oh, man, ooh, nice hot shower. Ooh, nice, good, warm meal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think about that little baby you seen walking around barefoot
Mm-hmm.
in 40-degree weather, face dirty. More than one child, and the mama can't feed them.
Yep. Yep.
Man, it's hard for me to sleep at night like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, sometimes you do have to be selfish. Like, I'm selfish when it comes to me not having a fair opportunity or having equal rights. I'm selfish. You're going to treat me right. You're going to respect me. But at the same time, I'm not so selfish enough to where I don't pay attention to other people's concerns.
Mm-hmm.
When I know that those don't have to exist. Now, it's easy to go back and say, well, they got the same opportunity everybody else got. Pull your bootstraps up. These are choices you made. What about influences? What about conditions? What about the lack of nurturing, the lack of guidance? All these things that we know children need coming into this world to have a proper upbringing and a good chance to have a peaceful, successful life. Some children aren't afforded that from the minute they're born because of the system that's in place. And I identified that system. Some people succeed in it. I still ain't happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of the stuff that I see going on today, third world countries, is extreme poverty America.
Mm-hmm.
It bothers me.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I heard you mention that about peace. I'm going to tell you this story. You know, a lot of people be like, man, I hate when Rico bring up these stories. You know, I'm good to bring up stories of other people's situation. You know why? Because it's bigger than me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm very quick to bring up other people's extreme situations. Hey, you heard about this? Yeah, this is our environment. This is our existence. This is going on. This might be right next door in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Might be your next door neighbor doing this same thing. I'm very quick because I'm concerned. You know,
Yep.
I think that's what God wants us to do. He said, treat people the other way you want to be treated. Well, that means you got to interact with other people and also be considerate
Yep.
and mindful of the
Mhm.
fact that you need to do them the same way. So that means be concerned about how they feel or how the outcome may come to them because of your decision.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm gonna bring up another story. I done heard this one before. About 3 months ago in Virginia, this man and his wife saw a disturbance between another man and a woman. And that man was going to intervene. But his wife, out of selfishness, didn't want to ruin what they had going on and told him, leave that alone. Mind your business. You know how people tell you sometimes you need to mind your business. They say I need to mind my business. I got a big mouth, but it's hard to do that and to be quiet when I'm concerned about other people's situations, even though it might not apply to me. But she said, leave them people alone. Mind your business. You about to tick me off going over here trying to defend another woman, Anna, and I'm your wife.
Mm.
She was being completely selfish. A couple of days later, they seen that incident they seen. That man killed that woman. Now the husband feeling guilty because he know he probably could have stepped in and intervened and stopped this situation from going as far as it did. But his wife, out of her selfish motivations and out of the fact that she felt like she needed all of his attention because she was his wife, said, don't defend that woman. That ain't your wife. I'm your wife. Mind your business. Leave them people alone. Because she did not want anybody to disturb her peace. And that's what the world is built around. A lot of people are sitting back knowing what's going on, watching what's going on, talking about what's going on, but they ain't going to do exactly what needs to be done because it would disturb their peace.
Rico, even in that situation right there, man, as heartbreaking as that is, and I know that it weighs on the man hard because he had a heart to go in and help. Do you know that, as sad as this is for me to say it, man, that wife could possibly come back and say, well, had you gone over there, he would have killed you too. It'd be two dead
That
bodies.
could have been you.
Yeah, be two dead bodies. Not necessarily so. You could have stopped. You could eliminate any person from getting killed had you gone over there. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Correct.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. And I guess I never could pronounce that word. Self-preservation.
Yeah.
You know, me. Trying to be good in my skin don't bother me. As long as it don't bother me, I'm good. But I found out that you can, and you don't have to save the world. You don't have to save it. But you can get some people to help you help them. I don't work by I don't try to do things by myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to go into my I try not to. Try not to as much. Go into my what takes care of my household to help somebody. I try not to. It gets kind of difficult though. Because everybody don't handle things the same way. And some people are going through to the point where some kind of way some people are blessed to be a blessing.
Yes, sir.
Because they know what you're going to do with it in the first place. You know what you're going to do with it in the first place. But I try to tell people we can do more with we than I. I'm not I don't quote community activist, but I work in the community because it's better for me and the people that I see that need help. I get somebody along with me that have the same type of mindset to get things done. I don't fool with people who run their mouth. I don't fool with people that try to stop progress. I don't even entertain people that just talk negative. I ignore them because they're like I don't categorize them like people that don't show up for practice, but they want to be on the team.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Here's what happens to them when the game starts. Sit them on the bench. What you gonna put them in the game for?
Yeah.
So they can they can give me some water if they want to, but other than that, keep them on the bench. They're good like that, you know. But for me to let me think that they affect the game, that's a waste of time.
Yeah.
What they didn't practice, they don't show up. They talking, running their mouth. And you know what the thing about it is? After it's all said and done, that you know what they say? Look at what we done. We won the game.
Yeah. Wow.
One thing about that, man, here is when the awards ceremony is in the game situation, you know what? They get a trophy too.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at on TikTok here, and good morning, TikTok. Good to have you. I'm trying to get the name right here. I can't see the name, but one of my TikTok friends said that my friend just lost 2 vertebrae by intervening on a couple, they both turned on him. He said that he or she said that the friend just lost 2 vertebrae by intervening, because the couple that he was trying to help, probably the woman, the man, whoever he was trying to help at that time, he went in to intervene to help and lost 2 vertebrae because the couple turned on him. So that's another side of the equation. Sometimes, you got to have, and we always talk about discernment. You got to have that discernment in you, because you have to, know when to step in and know when not to. Because police, a lot of times, they say the most dangerous calls that they go on most of the time is domestic violence. A police officer will tell you that that's one of the most dangerous calls that they go on is domestic violence, because a lot of times when they step in, the couple turn on him or her, and it causes a problem. Toy, you want to talk to me, sis?
Hey, I was going to say that same thing. Yo, my father taught me that you don't ever interfere with boyfriend and girlfriend, with 2 people who are dating, because 9 times out of 10, it'll flip on you.
Yeah.
Now, when you're the parent, the brother, sometimes you do, right? Family members. But even with that being said, at the end of the day, the biggest fear is that y'all get into this big altercation and they're back together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So even, again, that's another state of existence, right? If you've been taught something different than me, that chaos is acceptable, then when I intervene, you're not going to be able to understand that, and you're going to go back to your chaotic world. Meanwhile, I'm hurt because both of y'all done turned on me.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's very hard to gauge different people's state of existences. You have one from a poverty level, you have one from a middle class level, you have one from an upper class level, and each one of us deal differently in our own state of existence. And some of these things you cannot. It is a distraction. Yeah, you're right. You could have got killed going to intervene in someone else's relationship.
Yeah,
it could have been you instead of her. Maybe you could have saved it or not. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I feel like, again, some of these things that we try to be the superhero of, what is God going to do?
Yeah.
What is God going to do? What is God going to do? You know what I mean? Because, again, I remember being in abusive relationships, right? But I didn't want him to go to jail. And if anything was going to happen to him, it was going to be because I did it, not somebody else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, the mistakes that I look back on, there were people who tried to help, and I went right back to that guy, right? And even in my state of nobody helped me, it didn't matter because I wasn't ready to let it go. So that's why it's very hard to gauge what you can portray and what you cannot. And at the end of the day, I learned police get paid for that, yo.
Yeah.
Police get paid for that. You understand what I'm saying? If you're not my family member, if you're not my friend, you're strangers, I cannot, because I don't know what your state of existence is. I cannot go to Africa, not knowing their terrain and their land, thinking that I'm going to go feed some folks, and if I don't make it back because I got ate up by an alligator. I mean, I'm just saying, there are things and there are preparations and there are, structures on how we handle with certain situations. That's kind of taking me back to yesterday on why you go to school to learn how to deal with certain things. You know what I mean? And when you're taught how to deal with certain things, if you're not a police officer, getting into a fight between 2 people that's a no-go.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can learn that in the hood. You can learn that from every other level. When people are fighting and they got something with each other, that is a no-go. You need to approach it with a certain, from a certain angle. And police officers have more authority and pistols. You understand me? You feel me? Authority
Absolutely.
and pistols.
Yeah.
If people decide to get out of hand and flip on them, then they're going to get a pop cap in their behind, and it's going to be legal.
Yeah.
See, I don't have that because I'm a pop cap too, but then I'm going to jail. But I was in your business. So, again, when it comes to different states of existences and things that go on in this world, we need to know what we're dealing with. I think y'all remember the guy a couple of years ago, right? He wanted to go to some part of Africa over there or some Aboriginal island. And I think he said he was spreading the gospel.
Yeah.
And them people who didn't, he got murdered. He got killed.
Yeah.
Now, I'm trying to wonder, did God really tell him that? Because sometimes we be saying God told us to do stuff and don't make sense to me because you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hold up now. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that is just very important that when we decipher different states of existences and different situations, you need to know how, when, and what to do in each, circumstance. And I don't think that, when it comes to violence begets violence. We need to know how to probably not dissect that or even determine if it's going to escalate. You know what I'm saying? And the role you're going to play in that if you ain't got authority in a pistol. I mean, I'm just saying, but different states of existences, you have to be aware in order to be able to deal with them.
Absolutely. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Willa, coming to you next.
Man, discernment, weighing, like there's a lot of things that just goes in just being a human being. And we live, and that's the other thing that some of us was hitting on earlier. The perception of a human being that works hard to be a peace of mind. Why are they viewed in the ways that they're viewed? Well, society. Oh, you work hard to be peaceful, and then all of a sudden, you don't care about other human beings. Okay, in some cases, I agree. There are people that are like that. Is that all people? No. That's why I brought up calm versus peace of mind. Are they the same or not? Because people can be really angry on the inside and be calm, but that people use that too. So to me, there's always two sides of every coin because it depends on if the person is evil or not evil.
And how do you determine whether they are or not?
By their actions. Or
But
at least in my perception, it's based on their actions.
Yeah, and that could very well be true. But at the same time, sometimes those very actions that you're waiting to see how they're going to act and react and stuff like that could be the very thing that kill you because you could find out too late and find yourself in a very harmful situation because you had to sit back and watch. Badger?
No, I'm just thinking because the situations I grew up in and the people that I guess they practice that it's not my business mentality. While kids are being harmed and stuff, and then the very, very few select that went, well, we need to work on this because these children are being harmed or hurt. So to me, it's one of those things of each individual person is either does good or doesn't do good.
Okay.
And those that don't, you can see it. Those that choose to be content, you can kind of figure out who they are. And so on and so on. So we live in a society where it is literally an across the board situation, if that makes sense.
Wow. Well,
Raheem, I forgot to say good morning, Morning Glow.
Hey, good morning, sis. What's on your heart right now?
I was thinking about the conversation, and I believe I shared this conversation before about my neighbor. My neighbor used to be abusive to his girlfriend. They wasn't married, but they had been in a relationship for like a long time. I've been over here since 1988. They were here a few years before me. Long story short, they used to fight all the time, and you would see her with black eyes. She was light skinned, so you would see where he had hit her and all that. So this one holiday, I believe it was like Thanksgiving, they were arguing over there. And my husband, he took it up on himself. He did, and went next door. And he went to the door and he told him, I don't know what he said, but whatever he said from that day forward, they did not fight ever again, or
Wow.
did they abuse each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like fight. You know, of course
Yeah,
they had
yeah.
the argument,
Oh yeah. Oh
but it
yeah.
wasn't abusive.
Mm-hmm.
And the girlfriend told my husband, thank you so much for coming over, intervening that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it works out, then sometimes it doesn't. I guess, you know, if it's in God's will, it is his will. But, you know, if we think about it, Raheem, we wouldn't have a George Floyd if
Mhm.
somebody wasn't afraid to intervene when they saw that cop bending on that man's neck and he kept saying he couldn't breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you don't know. The fear of the unknown is what stopped people from running over there, pushing him off of that man's head, you know, or neck, or whatever he was. It was the fear of the unknown. And
Mhm.
as humans, we have that. You know, we have that. That's why we pray, ask God for the discernment to give us, to do those things, to help us, to give us the courage to change things that we can, and then the discernment to know the difference between the two and change those things that we can.
Absolutely.
So it's just a daily war that we're in every day. The Bible warns us of that. I'm going to throw it out there all the time. Read Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10, and you can understand. And that's what's on my heart right here.
Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we asking a question. What state do you live in?
What state? You're not
Yeah.
talking physical state, obviously.
No. What state do you live in? And is it a constant state or does it change?
Oh no, it's constantly changing.
Mhm.
I mean, it shouldn't be it's according to what aspect you're talking about.
Like a state of
I
joy,
think
state
that
of peace, state of depression, state of peace, state of joy, state of depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I stay in a state of contentment. I
Mhm.
stay that's huge with me.
Mhm.
Because the Bible says that for whatever I will have probably done said it already. That whatever state we find ourselves in, to be content.
Mhm.
Because I mean, it's just life has its ups and life has its downs. So I just try to get to a place where I'm like, okay, God, I don't do a good job at it sometimes. I'll be the first to admit it, because when things are going on, sometimes it can rattle you. Even though you say you love, it's some things that happen. And some people may do it really, really well. I'm not really, really good at it. So
Mhm.
it's times when things will literally shake me to my core. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if it's somebody else. Unfortunately, with me, I don't care. I
Mhm.
deal with it. But when it comes to other people, I don't deal with it as well, because I want to help God fix it instead of just stepping back and letting God fix it. You
Mhm.
know, so
Mhm.
I try to live in a state of contentment.
Good deal. Good deal. Navy, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm all right. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing good. See, I know it threw you off when I didn't say Shanavia, didn't it? Didn't it throw you off? I know you.
It did.
I know it. I know it. I say, watch this. I said to myself, watch this. This is gonna throw off right here. I'm not gonna say Shanavia. I'm gonna say Navy. But Nate.
And it was so calm. It scared me even more because it was so calm.
Exactly. But Navy, we asking a question this morning. What state do you live in? What state do you live in?
Like state of mind, not like my state, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, y'all, because I can have some moments every now and again.
State of
That's a
happiness,
good question.
state of joy, state of depression, state of or whatever. But what state do you live in?
I mean, I try to live as best I can in a state of joy, but if I'm being completely transparent and honest, I think I live in a state of ambivalent
Mm-hmm.
and always trying to find balance because I'm constantly stuck between, and I don't necessarily think that it's an unhealthy or a bad thing, but I'm just being transparent in this moment. I'm constantly stuck between honoring where I am and as a person and what I do, whether that's for my family, for my community, or otherwise. And on the other side of that, wondering if am I doing enough or is there
Mm-hmm.
more that I can do?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it's a blessing and it's a burden at times to
Mm-hmm.
be to not unsee and unhear things that other people may turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to and not want to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's like this hero complex or anything, but just that's just naturally who I am. If I see somebody in need, then I want to help them because I get where that I get where they're coming from to a certain degree. Like I know what it's like to be in need.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can help, then I want to do that, but also trying to find the balance of understanding that in this moment, at this point in time, I've done all that I can do
Mm-hmm.
with the resources that I currently have.
Okay.
So I'm constantly in between those two places.
Let me ask you this question, Navy.
Yay, Navy. Yay, Navy.
Good deal. Good deal. But Navy, let me ask you, how do you know when to help and when not to?
Something that we talk about a lot on this show is discernment. And I think that that's where we have to come in because I feel like discernment takes our ego out of the equation and it puts God's direction in. Because we can do a lot of stuff because we're trying to get some likes or because we're trying to make it look like, what I used to say is sometimes we be trying to hustle God to get a blessing. Yes. So when you use that discernment, it doesn't come from you.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from a higher authority and power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about you, and you don't have to post it, and you don't have to go and tell anybody about it. So that's where I come from. If I automatically, if Shanavier is anywhere in the equation, and if I'm like, oh man, I need to do this because that would make me feel good in this moment. Mm-hmm. That's not what I need to do because it's not about me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a blessing to someone, or I'm not, and not expect anything back in return.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Woo!
That's good.
Yes.
Wow, we got a chill. We got a cheerleading corner over here. We got a cheerleading corner. Toya with a T. Talk to me, sis. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cassandra. Before you come to you next.
No. I'm just so proud because Navy has my heart. I'm hearing my heart when she talks, so I love it.
Good deal. Toya with a T. Talk to me, sis.
Yeah, no, I think everybody basically knocked it out the box.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. Life is a big pill to swallow.
Yes, it is.
It really is. All of the things that go through, the things that we know, the things we go through, whether we're depressed, to know and understand and even see some stories that somebody somewhere is going through something worse than you. To not get caught up sometime in just what you go through. Life is just a bitter pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
And when the enemy at the end of the day is you know what I mean?
Wow.
That situation where the man and the woman, they're fighting and they're beating each other, that guy was his own enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you notice that anything went wrong in his life, a lot of those days while he's angry, fighting her, then that was the issue. The one who was getting abused, getting beat up, she was her own enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Not seeing your own worth, not rising up out of that, knowing that you don't deserve that, and then wondering why you feel like you're depressed. Things like that is what helped change my trajectory on approaching all situations, from spanking kids to even recognizing the value of them myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There were reasons why I felt the way I did. There were reasons why I acted like that. Been there, done that. Been abusive, been abused, been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I was my own worst enemy. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think everybody hit it out the park. You know what I mean? God will guide each and every one of us to go down whatever adventure and journey. And even if I may think that is weird and I wouldn't do it, doesn't mean that is not the journey meant for the next person.
Absolutely.
I just feel like I need to know that. We have to be able to acknowledge that that's what God is doing. You know what I'm saying? What's for you is for you. That's the thing that rings the most in my head. And when He send you off somewhere to knock down the giant, I mean, that was your destiny. You know what I'm saying? So we may think it's strange, and we may have these conversations about it. But at the end of the day, whatever the journey is, when you got God involved, miracles happen, man.
Yes.
So no matter where you at,
Come
or
on.
what you're going through,
Come on.
or what people saying about it,
Mm-hmm.
you better get God involved, because He's the only one that can turn that story into a wonder. I mean, I'm just saying.
How they say how the old folks say, make that crooked line straight. Make that crooked. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
We're gonna keep this thing going. Let me go to Brother Pete. Brother Pete, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Our ears bees. How you will?
Our ears it is. Our ears it is. That's that. Our ears it is. Pete, we asking a question, brother. What state do you live in? Joy, peace, depression, contentment? What state do you live in? And is it a constant state, or does it sometimes change?
I do my absolute best to enjoy every moment of this form of existence. I do my best to show consideration, compassion, regard to everybody and everything, including the insects when I can. Straight up for real. Right? This form here, this experience is truly an experience. And enjoying the lessons, the self-critiquing, the growth, the perfection of oneself, in self, just for self, nobody else.
Yes.
Right? I can relate to all those states that you mentioned. But through it all, when the low times come, we press forward, we press harder, we fortify ourselves, and we stay determined on mission. And we don't let nothing deviate our attention and focus to navigate through the murky waters. When it seems like all of the strength of hell is trying to assail and prevail, we say, no, we're going to stay on mission. I get it. I understand. I've been beat down, and I had to stand in spite of and face the torment by myself.
Yes.
With nothing but me and the God. That's it. My mother's still here, but she couldn't help me. My brother and sister here, they couldn't help me. I had to stand. I can relate. And I've been up so high that I check myself to make sure you don't have no falsities or arrogance and false superiority or nothing. When I have more, I'm more compassionate.
Yes, come on.
When I'm able to go out here and make a whole bunch of money in a week, I look for people to bless, bro. I'm looking for the family that look like they're struggling, so I can walk over to their husband and say, "Hey, man, it's gonna get better, man. Stay in it, stay in the fight." And then pull them to the side and slide them a couple of dollars. 150, 50, 100, 200, whatever it look like they need. If you're out at a restaurant, look like a family. Is weathered in life. Father look wore out, mama look tired, kids acting a fool. I tell the waitress, come here. Slide me that bill. I'm gonna pay that bill. Don't say nothing to them. Tell them after I leave. Don't let them know why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff we do.
Come on, Pete. Come on.
Yeah.
Because it's really about showing love. I come on here, y'all, and of myself, I'm me. But then when we talk about standards, I talk about the standards of what the standard is. Not my opinion, but the standard. But this thing right here, this experience right here, is all about us glorifying the good.
Come on.
My animosity and my hostility is toward wrong. It's toward injustice. There's zero tolerance for that because it's not necessary. You don't have to have everything. And if you're willing to work to get everything, fine. But don't do it and damage other people.
Come on.
And that's your mode of being rich. You need to be dealt with, in my opinion. Because we really put here to show love for one another, man. When somebody is down, can you give them a good word? Can you give them a hand? Can you give them a smile? Speak to them? Can you buy them lunch? What can you do to help lighten that load and make it a little better? That's how I live, Raheem, straight up. I walk up to our chocolate sisters and tell them, man, I got poems for our melanated women, boy, because they like to beat them down. So I make it a point to build them up. I ain't trying to sleep with you. I got love for you, though. And I want you to know that you are loved, that you are beautiful.
Yeah.
In spite of the noise and the static you hearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I meet different races, especially our lighter skinned brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. I pull out a piece of paper and ask them, "What's your name, John? Is your name White John?" They be like, "No." I said, "All right, then, because you ain't white. Ain't no such thing. Ain't nobody white on planet Earth."
Yeah.
Then I pull out something black, like a tire, and said, put my arm up to it, said, "Boy, I'm way the shades away from that color there. Ain't no black people walking around on planet Earth. Well, be yourself. Let me get to know you as you. You get to know me as me. We might find that we got some things in common. We can vibe and enjoy the moment. How about that? Peace and love." That's how I roll, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
And for the record, Leonard and Rico still are not as handsome as me.
Watch yourself. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, he didn't call your name, so that must mean you might be a little more handsome than I don't know. He didn't call you. He didn't call my name either. So, but Tucson,
You got to be in the category. You got to be in the category to consider. So I was out the category to consider.
Okay.
Honorable mention.
Exactly. Let's name that one over there, and that one over there too. Don't even call your name, and that one over there too. But go ahead, Tucson. What's on your heart, brother?
When I think about what Pete said, and a lot of times what we do is because you're gonna get what you give.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how you give it, and a lot of times we want to broadcast what we do. But them little secret things that you do, that nobody even know you got a hand in it.
Mm-hmm.
You wonder why. You always got somebody coming to you, giving and giving and giving, giving.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do it because it's necessary.
Yeah.
Not noted.
Mm-hmm.
Because we like to do things because it's noted. Hey, see what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. And we're here over here, and we're wanting to go live, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it's just because we want somebody to know.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, it's a good conversation right here. I don't know where you put this one up at. got Cassandra back there in the shouting corner.
Exactly. Exactly. But I want to do a shout out real quickly to Maggie on TikTok. Maggie on TikTok. Had lost my thought for a second there. Thank you for sharing, sister. And anybody on TikTok, please share the broadcast, do that like thing and send them gifts and all. I don't know how the whole TikTok thing works, but send me some of them gifts too. They say them gifts are important in some kind of way. I don't know what it is, but send those gifts too. But thank you, Maggie, for sharing the broadcast. And the phone lines are open. Just give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input as well. We're going to switch this topic in just a second or two. But Rico, is anything on your heart remaining on this particular topic right now?
Yeah, man, a little bit, man. But my conscience bothering me, man. As Pete was just talking, man. I just stepped on the bug and killed it, and it wasn't doing nothing to me.
Wow.
I just took the life of that bug, man. And as I did it, I thought, I was like, man, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I do that, man? That was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
To take advantage of that, having all this control and power that I got to dominate, and I did that, and there was no reason behind it. Mm-hmm. But it's second nature, to kill insects. I ain't gonna say but that's what we've been taught sometimes.
Yeah.
I claim to love life, but sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just how much I love life. Even though I love it, I still slip up and do human things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always told that the number one rule of life was self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
The number one rule of life is self-preservation, and that pretty much comes automatic for many people.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't nobody like to feel bad. They're gonna make sure they can do whatever they need to do to feel good or get in a good place. But in this state that I live in, I said that about consideration and awareness. I want to throw righteous reason in there too. Righteousness and reason. Because in the process of doing unto others as I would want them to do unto me, that means if I want people to do right by me, I need to do right by them.
Yeah.
If I want life to be right by me, I need to be right by life. I need to respect people the same way I want them to respect me. So I think about that righteous reason. And within that reason and then understanding self-preservation, you know, my compassion and my concern for other people's will give me a way to start reasoning how to handle situations. Because I know that, you know, we started hearing this sort of stay in your lane type of mindset, you know, with this conversation. But see, sometimes you can't stay in your lane. Sometimes the police ain't gonna get there in time. Sometimes the police, they are not going to get there in time. And can you imagine being the one whooped on? You look up and see somebody looking at you, 1, 2, or maybe 8 people looking at you and won't help you.
Yep.
Because that ain't their business. Now, I have been in situations like that before where I was outnumbered. I had to do the bigger thing, call the police, be a witness, you know. I remember when I mentioned that about George Floyd a couple of years ago. I was like, man, I would have threw some garbage cans at him or something. I would have threw bottles. I would have did something to disrupt. What was you going to do? I was going to get them police off of his neck. You know, they could have killed you too. Yeah, so I would have had to think with that mind process, that process being in mind and seeing what they were doing and how they will do. I got to think of another way to still get them off of him, but protect myself.
Yep. At the same time.
I ain't just gonna run in there naive and overconfident. Hey, get off him! You heard me. My name is Rico Jackson. No, I ain't fixing to do that. I might walk up to somebody try to talk with some reason. Hey man, hold on, you about to kill that man. Hold on, man, you about to kill that woman. Be careful. You gonna go to prison, man. Don't do that. Think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's certain ways to intervene. But believe me, whenever I do choose to intervene, I'm intervening knowing that I will completely dominate and control that situation. And if I can't completely dominate and control that situation, then I'll call somebody that will or find a way that I can. I ain't about to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to use some reason. I'm going to use some logic. If I need to jump in some water to save your life, I'm going to look around and see everything I can think of. I might even realize in a very quick moment of thought. You know how they say under pressure? When you think under pressure, you spur of the moment. I might think to tie those clothes up and use them as a float, the way they tell you when you was in Cub Scouts. You know, a lot of things will come to you when situations happen, and you need to be the one that intervenes. You know, if you have that right spirit, if you got that right consistent mind to be a helper, then your mind is going to put you in a situation where you can always help, but at the same time, you're going to protect yourself. If it ain't no way you can protect yourself, you're going to find some type of way. If you can't protect yourself physically because there's more than one person, or this person is 6'8", and you 5'8", they 340 pounds of muscle, and you ain't but 180. No, you ain't fixing to intervene. You might try to talk to this big fella. And in the process of talking to this big fella, if he don't want to act right, or if he's still not, compromising, then you call some other authorities.
Yeah.
You're still intervening. But the word that I put a meme up a couple of weeks ago where they showed a picture of somebody getting beat up, and you can see them looking into like the camera. And the first thing the only thing you can think of is the came to their mind is, man, y'all just gonna watch. Y'all ain't gonna help me.
Exactly.
So I don't think we could be naive enough to think. Some people do intervene and end up catching the worst end of the stick. But those are people that probably didn't use any kind of reason or logic to understand how to intervene, especially in a situation like that. Because in volatile situations, it is a iffy thing to intervene in.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you got to be able to relate to people and communicate with people, get their attention. And if they all the way gone to the point where they ain't listening, pick up something and go upside the head.
And those are the words of Rico Jackson. Those are the words of Rico Jackson right here on The Morning Glow. We're going to switch up on the topic. Anybody got anything else they want to say on this particular topic? Shanavia, what's on your heart, sis?
I don't have anything in particular right now.
Okay. Anybody else got anything else they want to say before we move on to the next topic? Okay. I'm going to read this. And Cassandra, I'm coming to you first. Cassandra, you there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna read something to you, and I want to tell you what I want you to tell me what you think about these particular words and how does it apply or does it apply at all to your particular life. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Okay, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. Tranquility, can he say the word? Provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. What does that say to you?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Nothing. Nothing. Because it doesn't apply to me or my people. As far as I'm just talking as far as my life and what I've seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That Constitution almost does not even apply to me or people of color. Let me put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
In this country, or some people of color. But anyway, nothing. It means nothing to me.
Wow.
It means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing.
Wow. That's just nothing. I mean, that's powerful. That's powerful. She said it means absolutely nothing. Let that sink in. I pause because I want to let that sink in just for a second. Rico, what does it mean to you, brother?
Same thing. The Constitution means nothing. The preamble means nothing because they didn't stand on what they really said it was about. They lied.
Thank you.
So if you present a document or system to me and say this is what it's going to be, but then all of a sudden you turn it right around and don't make that way, don't hold it to that standard, then it don't mean nothing to me. You just lied. You just put that out there. Just put it out there for show for show. That's just a nice people worded, nice worded piece of paper and documents that sound good, but really and truly those aren't your intentions. You had an ulterior motive, completely opposite of that. You didn't stand on that one bit. So I mean, now if it ain't true, then it don't mean nothing to me. You just put out a whole bunch of lies, just like Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm. Rico, what do you say to the individual that would say to you after saying what you just said? Cassandra, I want to throw this back at you as well, and we're gonna certainly touch everybody that's here. What would you say to the person that say, man, for you to even say something like that, man, you're not patriotic at all, man. You can't love this country. For you to even say something like that, how dare you? How dare you? Rico, respond.
Well, I would throw this at them. Why would I be patriotic to something that didn't give me the opportunities that they said, and I had to go back and fight? I mean, if everything was true about the Constitution and the preamble, why did women's suffrage have to come about? Why did the civil rights movement have to come about? Where did Jim Crow come from? Where did peonage and the convict leasing come from? Where did all these other systems come from for you to continue to restrain people from achieving these same things that you claim you meant for every man? Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You're right, I ain't patriotic to that because I don't had to fight it too long. Why would I be patriotic to something that I've been trying to fight and kick the door in on?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I be loyal and defend something that didn't want me to even accomplish my greatness in it?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Cassandra, what would you say to this person? Now they sit there, they look you right dead square in your eyes, in the pupil of your eyes, and say you are not patriotic. How could you say something like that about this great country that has provided so much for you, done so much for you? How could you say that you are not patriotic? You don't love this country. You can't. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. I'm sorry. I don't love this country because this country has not loved me. It has not loved my people. So we can run around the bush. I don't care when people say I'm not patriotic. This country has not been good to my people. When you have not been good to my people, you have not been good to me, and I have no reason to love you.
Mm-hmm.
And Rico said all the rest. I ain't even got to go through all of the stuff that we've been through in this country that, you know, you keep telling us love. Oh, but why don't you go somewhere? Nick, I almost said something. I was born here. Y'all made sure y'all brought my people here. So I was born here. So I ain't going nowhere. I don't have to love it, but I ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Jeremiah.
Okay. I think we got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Jeremiah.
Hey, Jeremiah, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Jeremiah, I just read the preamble. I'm sure you're very familiar with the preamble, correct? Or should I read it again for you?
Can read it again, please?
Okay. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. Jeremy, what does that say to you?
It actually, like, you can probably hear it in my voice, but that actually makes me really angry because, see, my grandpa and my grandma were natives, so that technically makes me, you know, I'm between a quarter and a half Native American, and I don't like to use the American part to it. I just refer to myself as Native, and that really makes me angry that they even said that, because there's parts, if you've ever read the Declaration of the Independence, it refers to Indians as savages. So how are we human beings if we're referred to savages in the Constitution?
Yes.
You know, so that really makes me angry that they even, you know, say some of that stuff when it's not even 100% true. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
Absolutely. Come on, baby.
Absolutely. So why, Jeremiah, why do you think they lied to us? Why have they lied to us and continuously lied to us over and over again?
Man, I mean, that's a hard one for me to really speak at right at the moment. Kind of mad now.
Okay.
When you even read that made me mad. I know that. Can you reword what you were asking me, please?
No, I actually, I like where you are right now, brother. Just speak what's on your heart. What's on your heart right now?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, you were also talking about the state of mind earlier, and my mind is like all over the place sometimes. So like when you refer to like the Constitution and that all refers to me, I feel like too, because like if people understood some of the things that I've been through in the past, like even 7 or 8 years, like even in companies that I've worked for or whatever, you would understand like I have peace sometimes, but then sometimes I don't have peace. And it's because like, for instance, I used to work at one company where a guy hit me in my private area 3 times and attempted to hit me multiple times, you know. So even though I'm mixed with Native and white, I claim Native because that's the way I've been treated most of my life. And so like when you spoke about the Constitution and stuff like that, like where's the liberty at when, you know, people are still being treated unfairly in our society?
Exactly. Wow. Let me go to our Navy. Navy, what's on your heart? What is that? The preamble. What does it say to you? To Navy, specifically to you, Navy. What does it say to you?
Man, I honestly don't know if I can add any more than what's already
being said, because it's empty promises, it's empty words. It sounds good. It's like a sweet love letter that you have no intention on honoring anything that you wrote down. So yeah, I don't know if I have any more to add to it. It's just a bunch of empty promises. Simply because nothing that was said, nothing that was said in this sweet letter has come to pass yet. The very things that you have spoken of, where was the honor in it? Where was the integrity in it? So yeah, I don't know if I have any more else to add to it. Everybody else in those three done summed it up for what it means, or at least to what I can agree with. It may mean something completely different to someone else.
So they're constantly lying to us.
I mean, I think that's proven in the action.
Yeah.
I mean, to say something is one thing, but to actually follow through and execute it is something completely different. I mean, we're in 2023, and it's very much mirroring 50 years ago. It's very much mirroring, to some degree, almost 100 years ago. So I have to sit back and ask, what has changed other than the time and the year and a sprinkle of things that would give the smoke and mirror that, oh, we have advanced so much as a people. But it's almost like a song and dance that's been going on for forever and ever. Amen. So the action proves otherwise. The words are one thing, but there's been no true action behind it. Consistently.
Absolutely. Toussaint, what does this preamble say to you? Toya, what does he come to you next?
I first thought about tissue paper.
Okay.
Because that's about what, I don't know if it's the dollar type. You know, you can get something for $1. Cheap tissue paper.
Yeah.
Because read it again, Raheem. Let me see if I can pull something out of it.
Okay. We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility.
Stop right there. What people? Who is we? So what we?
Yeah.
How many of us are included in that we? Raise your hand. I can't see you, but okay.
Ain't no hands up, brother. Ain't no hands up. I can tell you. Ain't no hands up.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. So we. Who wrote that? And included themselves and excluded so many different other people.
Wow.
So man, let me take that piece of paper and can't wash my hands with it because it's dirty paper.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'll give me a rash or not.
Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T talking to me, sis. The preamble. We, the people of the United States of America. What does it say to you? Toya?
Well, yeah, I'm here. I don't think we pay attention to the structure of the so-called life we live, right? And it's important to put things in writing. Now, when we deal with things on multiple levels, the things in writing is what matters. And some humans got together and said, hey, we're going to put this thing in writing. And this is the so-called creed we're going to go by. And even though they've created a so-called creed that I think sounds fair and sounds good, it's the actual implementation of that creed that we all have a problem with. When we look at it for what it's worth, it's like when we build a corporation and corporations has its bylaws. That's what that is. Those are the bylaws of America. And the people who live in these states haven't upheld that. So therefore, I feel like we do the same thing with the Constitution and these values that we do with the Bible. You know, we blame the Constitution for the actions of man. And I think that's where we kind of get twisted, right? Like, I'm all for fairness. I fight for that. I don't care what the environment is. Even as a kid, you know, my father had rules. But the certain rules I thought wasn't right, they were going to get bucked and I was going to get that beaten. And then I was going to express how I didn't think it was fair. You know what I mean? Because of whatever I feel like my defense was. And I think that when it comes to, you know, the preamble in the Constitution, I agree with the basis in which it was supposed to be. I do not agree with the actions that came after it, right? I think that humans have abused it. I think that they did not follow through on it, and therefore we blame it for our suffering. But it was the people that actually did it. You know what I'm saying? They did not abide by, they do not upheed to this day. They don't honor that code they came up with, those bylaws. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you look at the justice of it all, there is none. Those bylaws are looked at as a lie because they don't follow it. They put it out there to keep others in control. But them themselves, they don't follow it. And that's like me getting that beaten, right? See, now I'm finna buck that system because this is what you said, but this is what you're doing. And we're not standing for that. And I feel like that's where I am as an American. Your bylaws is like what Toussaint said, tissue paper. They hold no value. It's a spell. It's something that you want to do to keep me in line when really my best benefit is not what you care about. It's about how you can keep me down and capitalize off of me. And this is why we have this revolt right now. This is why we had that revolt, because they showed us that those are just something that we want to keep you in the control with, nothing that we abide by. And that's why now we don't give a hoot about them right now. That's why now we boiled it up, setting it on fire, using it like tissue paper because they were lies. It's like Santa Claus. You lied to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You lied to me. And now I'm awoke. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's where we are in America at this point. We're starting a revolt. We're starting a revolution. But at the end of the day, those bylaws are still going to be important for us to have peace. If we honor them. We have to honor them. If we're going to come up with a creed, I think it's a fair creed. I think it's respected to respect everybody, even if they're gay. No, you still don't get the right to not give them a job, to drag them down the street and kill them and murder them and cut their babies out. No, you still don't get the right to do that. But we are going to honor it, and we are going to make sure that we enforce that everyone else does too. And anyone who does not will be upheld to the highest extent of the law. And that's anyone can get it, right? If we would actually operate off that system, we would see the fairness in that, but we don't, because they don't. You know what I mean? So either way it goes, the bylaws I agree with. I think they're fairly only if they are honored. And at some point, in order for us to get out of where we are, we're gonna have to start honoring whatever system we come up with.
Absolutely. And we're talking about the preamble. I'm gonna read it again, and we're gonna go around, and the phone lines are open. TikTok, all y'all give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. First of all, are these states of America even united? But that's a whole different conversation. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Pete, what's on your heart, brother?
We the people. It's called the preamble, first of all. Pre, being here before. Amble, to walk around freely. And then when you read it, what are they really saying?
Come on.
Pre, those that are here before. Amble, walking around freely. So we the people, the y'all that's already here of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice for them, ensure domestic tranquility for the free, provide for the common defense of the free, and promote the general welfare of the free, and secure the blessings of liberty to who? Ourselves. They're telling you what they mean right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not deceptive at all. And our posterity do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States. Them same previous crusty, dusty, demented mentality having power greedy, wealth chasing demons in flesh establish this for themselves.
Wow.
And nobody else. It's right there if you read it. Etymology to break down the words. Come on. It's right there if we read it. You couldn't have been talking about everybody. Obviously, everybody wasn't considered. They were talking about themselves.
Wow.
And then they added so much more deception to it. How many constitutions do we have? On average, 4. But we go back to the original Constitution. This was thing, concept, experience, US.A is supposed to be set up where the people have the power. So the people are supposed to be more powerful than the people in power. But then you add a corporate side on top of that. So you go from a governmental function into a corporation function that is a service corporation that is offering what type of service to its said citizens, and citizens defining by definition property. What are you saying? This is word trickery.
Yeah.
Contracts. That's what this is. Man is endowed with these rights by God. That's true. That's not up for debate. Whether you like it or not, that's true. You are endowed with certain rights just by being a flesh and blood sentient being. And those rights are not to be infringed upon by nobody. Who can stop you from looking, breathing, smelling, touching, seeing, moving, operating with your limbs and changing your position? Who has the right to say, no, you can't breathe a breath every so many seconds. You got to breathe 2 breaths a minute. Really? Seriously? So man has to understand the rights that he has, first of all. And it's man's duty to operate in his rights and hold anything and everything in check to what he has. The uniqueness of this society is factually that the people have the power. Well, you know, we saw some people bum rush the Capitol, and that didn't go too well. All right, if that's the people's house and the people wanted to come in their house, it don't look like the people were received in the people's house as the people.
Yeah, come on.
See,
Wow.
this is why the race narrative and all this other schisms and isms are always up in the forefront, because they don't want you to realize that you have the power. If you have a tyrannical government, the people have a right to take the government down. Is that not what it said up in there? I didn't write it. I just read it. Ain't that what it said?
That's what it said. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what it said. That's what it said. So are we dealing with inalienable rights? Are we dealing with unalienable rights? Are we flesh and blood sentient beings, or are we corporate fictions and as flesh and blood entities and answering up as for corporate fictions? What game you running here? Are we dealing with Article 3 jurisdiction, judicial judges, exclusive equity as a jurisdiction? Or are we dealing with admiralty and maritime color law, state common law, but color law? What we dealing with? Statutes and codes, corporate policy. What we dealing with?
Come on. Come on.
That's for the corporation. That's not for the people. Trickery. When they wrote it, it was trickery. How you gonna say that? And people, human beings, flesh and blood entities are owned this property. Who came up with this concept of chattel slavery and being a indentured servant? You have to work for me for so long, and after I make enough, I'll give you your freedom. What?
Wow. Wow. How long
When
did you
I came out my mother's warm, comfortable womb, I was free. What you talking about? Who are you?
And how long did you have to work to get yours? How long did you have to work to get yours?
Hey, come on. But we the people,
Yeah.
in order to form a more perfect union, we the people today in order to form a more perfect union, identified that many to most of the elected officials are the problem in all parties.
Good deal. Good
You're
deal.
the problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Willa, come on, let's talk. Come on, let's talk, Willa. I know you got something for me.
Well, I certainly piggyback off of Toya because that's exactly what it was established for. We had to have something established in the beginning in order to try to build an environment on exactly what it said. But when you talk about the human heart, you talk about men in general, it's just not going to happen unless those things are sustained. You can have your own business, Raheem. You can. And you have a motto, an objective. Well, we are one, we're together, hand in hand. But there's going to be somebody in your union that's going to try to undermine everything that you did or you're trying to do. There's no perfection in it. So I'm saying that living in the United States of America, like everything else, has been established to try to change the environment will not, no matter how much is said, how much is written, to the hearts of men change. Because we are living in the United States. We just talked about it earlier. Talked about how what kind of state of mind we live in every day. How Rico lives in a mind that he cares about people. So would I line him up under that preamble? Yes, I would. Would I put Cassandra up under? Yes, I would. Would I put other people? Now, I'm not trying to just point out certain people, but I'm trying to establish something. And if you don't fall in the line of that preamble, then you're not trying to do it. People break laws, articles, constitutions every day. You know, I always like to go to the root cause. The root cause. And the root cause is the hearts of men. The hearts of men.
What do you?
Until they get that together.
And Willa, let me ask you this.
Preamble means. Go ahead, Raheem.
No, finish your thought. You say that preamble means what?
That preamble meant that we, the people of the United States, if you lived in the United States, this is how I'm looking at it, like I look at everything else. It was established to try to form. Now, you're right. It didn't work out that way. Why didn't it work out that way, Raheem? Because you got human beings with the hearts of evilness in their hearts. So people would say, well, they really didn't want to do it. Because look at what's happening. Well, that's not necessarily so. If I put you in my business, I established a motto, I put it out there and you didn't do it, that didn't mean that that's not what I wanted to happen. It didn't happen because you really didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So as a whole, I just took a whole United States and I put it in just a small box where we lived in as an individual. You worked a job. You worked on a job where it said this, that, this, that, this, that. But because of a manager went out of that box, that didn't mean that the company was like that manager. That was that manager's heart that did what he wasn't supposed to because of his mindset, the state that he was living in. He's so powerful. He took the model of that company and tried to change it by doing what he wanted to do. We do it every day when we don't do what God says.
Well, let me ask you this.
Same thing. Same thing. The hearts of men. Until we change that right in, I don't care what you write.
Yeah.
I don't care how you put it. I don't care where you live. Till your heart change.
Now let me ask you this. Then we're gonna go to Cassandra. What do you think was in the hearts of the individuals that wrote this preamble at the time when they wrote it? Was it inclusive for everybody?
My opinion. It's my opinion. I don't know them people personally. But if I was just to read it myself, not looking at if I was there in the beginning, Raheem, if I was there, I didn't see anything after that, I would say that it was meant to establish exactly what it was meant for. That's what I would say. Because guess what, Raheem? I can't see the hearts of men.
Yeah.
Only God can.
That's true. That's true. But
if I could say afterwards, we're not getting it.
Wow.
Because of the hearts of men.
Okay. Cassandra, do you think that it was all inclusive when they wrote this particular preamble? Did it include everybody? Was it for everybody?
No, it definitely, it was not for Black people. I mean, you can just go ahead and do the history on that. I'm not even going to take the time to go back, but you can go ahead and check the history and read and see whether this was for Black people. We were not even considered human beings.
Yeah.
For years in this, we weren't even counted. So it was not applicable to us, even though because we were born here, and my grandparents were born here, and my great-grandparents were born here, that was not applicable to us, to people of color. And we got to know that, because that is how they have continued to do what they do, because they don't even include us in most of the things. And no, we don't know the hearts of men, but guess what? Your actions speak louder than any words that you put on a paper or anything else. The way that you treat people, and because we weren't even considered people during that time, then we know that no, we were considered. And can I really quickly, Jeremiah, I'm sorry for calling you baby, but I love you. And I want you to know that I appreciate you, and I see, and I have seen the struggles that your people, the Native Americans, have been through, the indigenous people. So I thank you for calling in and sharing that, because you had me almost in tears. So thank you. But yeah, this did not apply to us. The preamble was not, it was not intended for Black people, because we weren't considered people.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. Rico, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
First off, let me throw this out there, man. For anybody that likes to continue to call me racist, Jeremiah is my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a whole melting pot, man. But listen here, I get called a sellout by Black people. I get told by Black women that I don't like Black women. I get told by white people that I'm racist, but I just call it like I see it. I hold everybody accountable for their faults and flaws. But now to the question you asked. There's one reality and one only true reality, and it's been proven through history that at the time they wrote this, they were breeding Black people like dogs, and that was a business. But they still were talking about every man is created equal and under this perfect union and this and that. We the people, but they didn't consider those people they were breeding and selling like dogs people, other natives. That they put in the smallpox, they put the smallpox blankets on and marched across all the way to Oklahoma. Oh, we the people. See, this is the real true reality of it. If every single citizen didn't sign that document, but I ain't gonna say but, if every single individual citizen did not sign that document, then it only was meant to be for the people that drafted it.
Yeah.
So they left out certain words. They should have said certain people. Or when they say every man, they should have said every white man. Prosperous white man was there, because it wasn't every white man. It was some white people that were struggling back then too, but they had a little bit more privilege, a little bit more access. You know, that's where the racism thing kicked in. That, you know what I'm saying, you want to get the poor white people to turn against poor Black people. Then you just tell them that they're a little bit better than these Black people. They're going to take your little access to the resources that you have. But see, this is the thing about it. In today's time, let's fast forward to 2023. If an asteroid or nuclear war goes off right now, they got bunkers that people can survive in. Certain people now, they're going to survive. Along with these pieces of paper with these pretty words on them. The preamble, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. They don't have bunkers everywhere to save mankind. Just certain people with these documents. Not every man. So now when you go back and look through history and think about everything that people had to do, black people and women, minorities, all these different court fights and legislation that we had to get put in place just to achieve what that paper or what those documents said that they were meant to stand for, it's been proven that words ain't nothing but sounds that come out your mouth, or little pieces of art that you done drew on some paper. But your actions show totally different. And as long as we want to support and be patriotic and continue to make this system succeed that wasn't even meant for us to be a part of, then we're going to keep on chasing our tails.
Wow. Wow.
Because it keeps evolving to make sure that we are not a part of it the way we could potentially be, that we don't accomplish or achieve our full rights or our full potential in this great American dream that they predicted, that they promoted.
Wow.
We don't. Everybody doesn't have the same opportunity. Everybody doesn't get the same start. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it was only meant for certain people, but to not sound so discriminatory, they just left it vague and said, "We the people." But logically, if everybody did not sign that document, it was we the people who came up with this concept.
Wow. Wow. Toya, you with a T? Talk to me, sis. Toya? I think we might have lost Toya there for a second. Let me go to Toussaint. Talk to me, brother.
Yeah, I stopped you in the middle of the
Hold on, Toussaint, what you got going on over there? Hold on. We can't hear you, brother. We can't hear you. Call back in. We're gonna mute this line here. Call back in. While we get Toussaint ready. Cassandra, talk to me, sis. Cassandra?
Did you call me?
Yes.
Oh, no, I have absolutely nothing else to say on this subject. But it's a good one.
Hey, Cassandra, I think Raheem be trying to be tricky sometimes, man. He know he just called you right before me. Now you probably was in there trying to bite your sandwich or something. He gonna call right back.
I'm cooking. I'm cooking. Y'all think I can't cook, but I'm cooking my hash browns. Yes.
Yeah, you over there. You over there burning that water, huh? You over there burning that water. Let me see who I got. I'm trying to get Toussaint back in here. Toussaint, you with us? Pete, talk to me, brother.
We have a shortage on toilet paper. Does anybody have a constitution?
Lord Jesus. Why do you think it is, Pete, that they continuously, from back then all the way up until this day and time, lie to us about what they want or what they desire for us? Or are we the crash dummies? We keep going for it.
The latter part, absolutely. The first part is the desire to maintain power, to continue to gain wealth, and live in prestige. That is why. Jane Elliott said, "You know what's going on. If you don't want it for yourself, why you allowing it for somebody else?" Because it's not happening to me. So I don't have any grain of sand in the fight at all. It's not relevant to me. That's over there. That's why.
Wow.
Our dear sister broke it down perfectly. The heart. Where's your heart, man? Are you on the upright side or are you on the down low, dirty side? Where are you in your heart? That's basically what it is. It's clear of the double standard, the double standard in function in this society is glaringly obvious. Here you have a groupings of people that came to a land dominated and seized control of the land, and then turn around and treat people indifferent along the lines that they decide how they want to treat them. What? What you come here for?
Yeah.
I thought you said you was running from that. That's why you came here. Or were you actually sent to just make it another colony? What were you doing?
Wow.
Come on.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Ain't number one truth. Let's tell it. Yeah.
Tell the truth. When you have this level of double standard norms in your being, I want it, but for me, I don't want it for you. I want to have more than you. I want to be seen as more than you. There it is. But see, remember, please, don't nobody forget this. The foundation of a thing, the spirit of it in foundation, is the spirit of that thing. So how was this experience started? The outright negatives that we see in this society today were ingrained in the fiber of this society, in its existence, in its formation.
Wow.
These ills didn't just pop up in modern times. They were ingrained. They were rooted in the foundation of this thing. So they're a part of it. Yes, you can make it right. But until you make it right, these ills will be a part of the foundation, existence, in function of this experience called the US.A.
Wow.
This is what it is. But the part that makes the full circle, because the sun shines on the just and the unjust. Sun and the earth rotate around each other. Everybody gets an experience of day and night, right? Everybody gets an experience of good and bad. So know, to all of y'all that's alive today, if you can hear my voice, if you on the wrong side, do know that it's justice time now.
Exactly.
Not because I said, but because the universe, God is saying it's time for justice now. That's what time it is now.
Good deal.
Had better get right. Because if you found on the wrong side of a bad decision, that's going to be one of the worst places to be.
Good deal.
And God ain't rolling with you. He rolling against you.
Good deal. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson had an issue with his mute button over there. Let me see. Can I get him right? Tucson, you with us?
Can you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, then. We were cooking with grease. Look at here, man. Look, Pete's on it. Because, see, now, I think that I almost can combine these two conversations that we had today together, because you're going to reap what you sow. That's why I'm good. That's why I'm peaceful and content with the way that this is my state. Because sooner or later, you see, all of this that has happened through the course of time, the table's turning. It don't seem like it to some, but you can't keep doing and making these false statements and not answer for it.
Yeah.
You know, we forming a perfect union. Okay, all right then. Okay. So now what happens is, I believe that what God is doing is connecting the right people at the right time for the right purpose, because the purpose of some was misguided to not unite the people, but separate them, to have the have and have nots, and have the have nots turn against each other. Now us have nots are getting together and getting those vineyards we didn't plant, houses we didn't build. Comment. I didn't write it.
Wow.
But if it's been written, don't you think that he's able to make it come to pass? Don't we say we have faith in God, we walk by faith and not by sight? Well, write the vision and make it plain.
Come on. Come on.
I mean,
Yes,
so here it is. Now, life unfolds itself and manifests itself clearly every day, happening overnight. Say something because you're able. Say you can speak those things as though they were. Well, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I ain't gonna just run my mouth. I'm gonna try to do something about it. I'm gonna be active in what I'm talking about. That way, these people that are being joined together are not talkers. They're, some call them movers and shakers. And it's not a boast or brag. I didn't write none of this stuff.
Yeah.
None of it. But I believe it. And it's coming to pass now because I'm sick of that Constitution, the Pledge of Allegiance. What else they got written? What else is it? What other lie? What is it? What you call it? What other lie you got wrote down on paper? That they sitting down there and it the we were me and mine, but it meant theirs and those and theirs, because their children that don't know how to spell cat have reaped the benefits of misguided gain. But now they don't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
So anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Raheem, you know, my husband always tell me, say, well, you always see the good in people, even when there's something bad. And I say that because there's always a root cause for so many things. When I talked about the heart, I did. On 2 days ago, Raheem, a 24-year-old police officer got killed in Chicago. And her mother came on the TV and she cried about her daughter. But you know what he said, Raheem? She said, those 4 black young men, I'm praying for them because they've lost so much.
Yeah.
And don't know why or understand what's going on with them. So people will look at her and say, you shouldn't be saying that. You should be against them. You should hate them. You should. But she said, I'm praying for them because they didn't know what they had done. She lost her 24-year-old daughter who was a police officer getting ready to graduate with her master's just on something that didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
She got on national television and said, I'm praying for them. So, Raheem, when I say that we live in that state of mind based on our experiences and our lives, then we will choose to look at things differently. But when you live in a state of mind that God is giving you every day to say, regardless what you see, you got to look past that picture and see me.
Wow.
That's what's on my heart right here.
Good deal.
That's what I wanted to say.
Good deal. Good deal. We got actually 10:03. We actually over. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Welcome back with us.
Man, Willa got me teared up. Because I believe that same thing. And it's not easy. I don't know what his name was, but bringing up that Constitution, I was sitting there in my therapy session listening. And my therapist saw a change come over me. But still to this day, it's still there. And they still refuse to change it. And that's what I meant earlier when I was saying I have some really bad anger problems. And it's a constant work in progress to stay calm so I can be effective and not just go get a gun and shoot up the White House like my bad thoughts want me to do. Like.
Better be careful how you say that now. You better be careful how you say that.
Oh, they know. I've sent letters up there.
No, no. We don't want to see it on
They
here.
gonna come get you. They gonna come get you.
No. We don't want to see it on here now. We don't want to see it on here now. I'm just saying. I ain't saying, but I'm just saying. Go ahead, brother.
Just how I feel. I'm so fed up with the lies. I'm on there looking at the bills. I'm looking at you. I brought up the other day about murdered and missing Indigenous women. I brought up how they're trying to overturn the Indian Children Welfare Act, and that's supposed to be coming through anywhere this month or next month. And it all started because a state didn't follow the law and let a child get adopted out, and the people that didn't want to respect the law or the culture took it to the Supreme Court.
Wow.
And Texas backed them.
Wow.
So I have a lot of passion and a lot of temperament in these situations, but I have to be careful not to act on them.
That's good. Well, anybody have anything they want to say real quickly before we get out of here? Good deal. Rico,
I think we need to just keep in mind that in case of Armageddon or these doomsday, scenarios that they have promoted, we still I bring this up because I want people to recognize this. They're not in the business of saving humanity, but they want to save those documents.
Wow.
Sure. And Pete brought up something major. Throughout this history, the American Revolution was to break away from that imperial culture, taxation without representation, all that. They call themselves breaking away from England, but at the same time, every time the royal family come over here, they make headlines and take over the news. They still appear they're still in great business with each other. You know what I'm saying? When they go to war, they always still got each other back. That means that they got back in cahoots. They might have had a little falling out, but we got the original. Remember, the original intent of them coming over here was the intent to create a new world for them in another hemisphere. So they had all these things that they created, even though the Declaration of Independence came after the American Revolution and stuff. It was still from the very beginning, at the root, the intention of them to just have another white man over here, just like what they had in Great Britain. And now we in cahoots with these same people. So, what they call shadow governments and subliminal, people in, I ain't gonna say subliminal, secret societies.
Yeah.
Those are the orders that we live under. We don't live under this facade that they have promoted with these words and these documents and constitutions. But I think it should be, I'm gonna say it behooves us to understand that we pretty much back in the situation that they want to be in originally before the American Revolution.
Exactly. And we're going to get out of here, but I'm gonna read the beginning of this thing. I'm gonna say one more thing before we get out here. Then we're gonna go to Rico and Willis gonna pray us out. We the people of the United States of America, of the United States, this the part, in order to form a more perfect union. When you put that word in there, more perfect, what are you comparing it to? Food for thought. Y'all think about that for a little bit. We'll talk about that at some other time. But it have to be compared to something else. And when you say more than what? What are you talking about? What are you speaking of? What are you trying to establish in this land? Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today?
If you missed today's show and would like to hear us see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Willa!
Raheem! Come on, let's go.
Now, today is Friday, so I need to ask you a question. Are you ready?
Raheem, I am so ready to receive God's word. Come on, Raheem, let's go.
Well, today is Friday, and I ain't got one more thing to say to you, Willa. One more thing. You know what that is? Let's go.
Let's go, Raheem. Oh, wait. God, I thank you so much. I thank you, Lord, for waking us up this morning, giving us another chance, life, another opportunity to get closer and closer to you. Father, I thank you so much for bringing us together, Lord, bringing us together on one accord in your name. Father, I thank you as we slept and last night, how you protected us. Father, I thank you when you touched us, breathed on us, and said, it's time to get up. Oh, I thank you. Thank you, Lord, for all the things that you do in our lives. Sometimes, Lord, we just forget to just say thank you. But Father, if we had 1,000 tongues, Lord, we couldn't thank you enough. Father, we thank you for putting a light under our path and leading us the right way. Being that GPS in our lives and guiding us through your understanding and your wisdom that you give us, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, for showing us how to forgive, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for being patient with our unforgiveness and showing us how to be obedient with our disobedience. Ooh, Lord. Who wouldn't love a God? Who wouldn't love a Father that constantly puts his loving arms and say, come on back home, even when you mess up? Even though I made an escape from temptation, from the temptation of this world, Lord, you open up your arms and you say, come on home. We thank you, Lord. We thank you, Lord, even though the enemy does so much wrong and he's showing himself more and more and more. Father, we know that you still are in charge. We know that we still get the victory in spite of how things turn out, Lord. It's because we trust you. We're committed to you and we depend on you every day. Thank you, Lord. I'm asking you, Lord, to touch each and every last one on this land, Lord. Those that are crying out to you, Lord, I'm asking you to answer their prayers, Lord. I believe in advance, Lord, that you've already made a way that whatever it is that they're going through, Lord, that you're going to bring them through, Lord. Knowing that you don't do things like the world do it, Lord. We trust you in a mighty way. Thank you, Lord, for the power that you give us, Lord, that no man can do what you do, Lord. And we trust you and trust no man. We thank you, Lord, and we praise you, honor you, and glorify you this morning. Thank you for DKM Media Radio. Thank you, Lord, and your message that you give every day. Thank you for Raheem. Family, Lord, keep you safe. We give you the honor. We give you the glory, the praise. In Jesus' name. Amen. 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 Thank you. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Touch that. Thank you.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. And that's what we say. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. It's been a great broadcast. Toussaint, man, you got something on your heart, brother. What's on your heart right now? Talk to me.
I thought about the prodigal son after being dirty and messing up and wasting everything that his father gave him. And him coming home. And his father runs to him. Royalty don't run. But he ran to him, fell on his shoulder and kissed him and said, my son was lost, but now he's found.
Yes.
Dead, now he's alive. Kill the fattest calf. and you're not too far out that God can't wait on you, that He can't bring you back in. So that's what I thought about as Willa was praying.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The love of the Father, the love of the Father.
Anybody else got anything on their heart before we get out of here?
I hate that I didn't think about this earlier, man, because I actually wanted to mention that situation that Willa brought up about the officer getting killed. But before she prayed, I wanted her to actually direct a prayer at this energy, this condition that we have going on with these young children, committing all these murders now, man. I like in the past 2 months, I don't know if y'all heard about the situation with Yami Sandifer. Robert Yami Sandifer, way back in the 90s in Chicago. He was like 11 years old and went on his killing spree, and then some more kids ended up killing him. And it was unheard of. But here in the past 2 months, well, I'm going to say since the year started, but real heavy the past 2 months, seeing a lot of children, man, 12 and 13 years old, been getting arrested for like massacres and killing people in broad daylight, man. And those people, those boys that killed that cop, those were some very young children, man. I ain't saying, man, these were some very young children. These are some very young children, man. And you was talking about peace earlier, man. I really don't wake up in a lot of peace because I'm seeing these stories and I'm aware of them every day. And I see that it's becoming an epidemic of these children becoming mass murderers, man. Mass killers.
Wow.
And I was meaning to mention that earlier. I forgot, but hopefully Monday when we come back, man, she could say prayer for that, man. I mean, it's only so much we could do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's something that we need to start recognizing in this existence that we have, because it is truly a reality now that we're seeing these 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds, man, going out here doing 22 and 23 and 40-year-old grown people evil crimes.
Wow.
Throwing their lives away at such a young age. I mean, it's an epidemic, man. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to it, but it's like every week I'm seeing 3 or 4 stories of children committing these horrific crimes that you would normally associate with adult criminals.
Yeah. Wow. Man, there's a sickness. There's a sickness, brother. There's a sickness in our environment, and we need to come up with that. We need to come up with a God need to provide that cure to get rid of that sickness. Because if it doesn't happen in that way, I don't see it getting any better. I don't see it getting any better. Cassandra, would you agree there's a sickness?
There's absolutely a sickness, and we're all responsible for doing our part to try to help this sickness. Real quick, Raheem, please, y'all, let's not be surprised by what we're seeing. Please, just go to your Bible. For those that go to the Bible, just go to your Bible, and you'll see that everything that is happening right now has been spoken of in the Bible. Everything, all the chaos, everything, it's all in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're about to get out of here. Hope everybody have a great weekend. It's been a wonderful broadcast this morning. I definitely appreciate everybody joining us and allowing DK Media Group and Associates to be a part of your morning. It is now 10:18. You're about to exit. I'm going to say, real man, you're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you do, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now, we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might get some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great weekend. Take care of each other. Be safe. Love you. Be blessed. Talk to you Monday morning. God say the same.